So many people know how to play blackjack, but there are people that are confused by it. So I want to make a video for you. This is the how to play blackjack for beginners. And by the end of this video, I'll have you play on blackjack. Hey everybody, this is Puzzling Games. I have casino games like Baccarat and Pai Gow and Craps. I've got board games like Clue and Monopoly. I've got card games like Bridge and Canasta and Cribbage. Or I also have Backgammon. I have Rubik's Cube. Just subscribe, explore, but in this video, let's learn blackjack. Blackjack is a fun game, mostly seen played at a casino. I'm going to teach it as if you're at a casino. Of course, you could play however you like, friends, whatever. The goal of the game is simple. It's to get 21, or to be the closest to 21 without going over 21. Everyone is going to be dealt 2 cards. I'm going to talk about what the value of each of the 2 cards are. The value of the cards goes like this. The number of the card is the number of the card. 10s are worth 10. 2s are worth 2, and 3s are worth 3s, and all of that. Now, jacks are also worth 10. Queens are also worth 10. And kings are also worth 10. So, jacks, queens, kings are 10. And aces is the tricky one. An ace can be either an 11 or a 1. Do you have to declare it at the beginning? No. When you add up your cards, you have to use it either as an 11 or as a 1. Everybody is going to be dealt 2 cards. Closest to 21 wins. A little bit more than that, because the way it works in a casino is that you don't get to see the dealer's 2 cards. You don't know what the dealer has. The dealer will deal themselves 1 card up and 1 card down, but you don't know what the down card is. If everyone is sitting at a casino table, usually everyone gets their cards dealt face up, and the reason is because you're not playing the other people at the table. Everybody at the table is playing the dealer. The goal is beat the dealer. If you are closest to 21 without going over, then you win. If the dealer is closer to 21 than you without going over, then the dealer wins. If you go over 21, you're bust. You've lost. There is no such thing as being close anymore. There is one big extra thing that you need to know, which is you're dealt 2 cards in the beginning, and the dealer will turn to you, and the dealer will say, do you want to hit or do you want to stay? A hit means, do you want another card? And stay means, or stand, meaning, are you good with that? For the most part, it's very difficult to get 21. Most people, they would consider 18 pretty good. They would consider 19 very good. They would consider 20 excellent. So really, the situations of do you want to hit or do you want to stand is sort of based on what you have. I would say, first of all, if you add up your 2 cards and maybe you have a 4 and a 5, it's a 9. Do you want to hit? Well, yeah, because even if you got the highest card in the deck, a 10, you still would only have 19. You'd still be under 21 and in a good position. If you had 17, do you want to take a hit or do you want to stand? Well, think about it. Unless you get a 4, in which case you'd have 21, a 4, 3, 2, or an ace, any other card, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, king, you're going to lose. So sometimes you could look at the dealer's card and think, well, and I'm going to get into this, but there's a way to look at the dealer's card and kind of read what you should do. And the good news is in a second, I'm going to show you a cheat sheet that's going to tell you exactly what to do. You'll never have to question when to take a hit or when to stand. Ever. Just stick with me. Now let's talk about the deal. Everybody puts their money up, and the dealer will go around and give everybody 2 cards, usually a 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, one for themselves, which they'll keep down, and then another 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then the other one, then the dealer will have 1 card up, 1 card down. Everyone can see one of the dealer's cards. Everyone can see everyone else's cards, but it doesn't matter because you're not playing those people. You're only playing the dealer. The highest you could possibly get is not a 10 and a 10. If you got like 2 face cards, which are each worth 10, that's 20. You know, that's great, but it's not 21. A blackjack, which is a 21, can only be gotten by an ace, which you're going to use as an 11, and then a 10, jack, queen, or king, which are each 10. So a 10 card and an ace that you're using at 11. That's a blackjack, and you win. If you are dealt blackjack in the first 2 cards of the deal, you actually get paid 3 to 2, meaning you get 1.5 times your bet. So if you bet $10, you get the $10 plus another 5. Now, if you get 21 because you took a couple of hits and you got to 21, that doesn't pay the 3 to 2. It's just even money. How do you beat the dealer? Well, here is one thing you need to know. For the most part, the rule is at most casinos that the dealer will draw or take a hit if they have a 16 or lower. A dealer will stand if they have 17 or higher. Think about that. If a dealer comes and they only have 14, 15, 16, they must take a card. If you had 14, 15, 16, you still have the choice. The dealer doesn't have the choice. Now, sometimes they say a dealer will hit on what they call a soft 17. That would mean that they have an ace and a 6, meaning it's because the ace is the 11 and the 6 is 6, meaning 17, but it's soft because that ace could also be a 1, so they could take another hit. Maybe they wind up using the ace as 1. When it comes to you, you either take a hit or you stand. And there's a lot of hand movements. People don't really speak. They go like this. It usually means give me a hit, or like this. If they go like this, give you a hand. That means they're standing, or like this, meaning they're going to stay. One way most people think about whether or not they want to take a hit or not is they make the assumption that the card that the dealer has that they cannot see is a 10. And that's usually a good rule, by the way, because if you think about it, king, queen, jack, or 10, already almost a quarter of the cards are going to be 10. So if you see that the dealer is showing a face card up and a card down, you have to assume the card down is probably a 10 plus a 10 is 20. I got this cheat sheet coming that's going to show you everything, though. Don't worry about that. And the cheat sheet basically minimizes the edge of the casino. It makes it so that you are doing the best thing based on the odds. By the way, you can bring this cheat sheet to a casino and lay it right there on the table and look at it. It's totally allowed. Before I get into the hands of dealing it, though, we've got to go through a few other important things. So there's a couple of times that the game is more than what I've just said. One's if you're dealt pairs. One's if you're dealt a 10 or an 11, called doubling down. One is called insurance. And then there's this other idea that I'll just start with, which is if the dealer deals themselves a blackjack, they automatically win. When you get to the casino, you'll notice that there's like a little mirror thing that they have on the table there. If they deal themselves an ace, they'll look at the card underneath it and to see if it's an automatic blackjack, because if it is an automatic blackjack, they turn it over, everybody loses unless you had a blackjack, in which case that it's a push, meaning no money is exchanged. So if you are dealt pairs, and what I mean by that is you are dealt, say, 2 8s or 2 7s or 2 9, a pair of cards that are the same, you are allowed to take the 2 cards, split them, and make a second bet. So let's say you've put $5 on the table, you got an 8 and an 8. If you just put another $5 on the table next to it, the dealer will know that you're splitting your pairs. What they'll do is they'll give an extra card on top of this 8, an extra card on top of this 8, and now you're playing 2 hands. It's double the cost to play 2 hands. Why would you do this? Well, if you had an 8 and you assume that every card that you don't know is a 10, you're splitting them in hopes that this one gets a face card, which would give you 18. This one gets a face card, which would give you 18. If the dealer goes bust, you win both of those hands. It's not a guarantee every time. And there is rules as to when to split and when not to split. The other thing is called doubling down. So let's say you're dealt 2 cards, and the first one's a 5 and the first one's a 6. You've got an 11. Well, you're allowed to double down on a single bet. If you get in your 2 original cards a 9, 10, or 11, all you have to do is put up an equal bet, and the dealer will do this. They will give you 1 more card, and only 1 more card. If you win with that, you wind up getting, double the money on your bet. Why 1 more card? Well, again, if you have an 11, that you have to assume that the 1 card you're going to get is a 10. That gives you 21. When you're playing, a game, and it's whether you want to hit or stand, you can take as many hits as you want. So let's say you had a 2 and a 3. You go, hit me. They give you another 3. I got 8. Hit me. They give you another 3. I got 12. Hit me. Now I got a 9. Now I got 21. So I've seen people go 5-card deeps of hitting, still not busting over 21. So you can do that. But if you go for doubling down, it's only 1 card. Next is insurance. When the dealer's face-up card is an ace, before they look at that bottom card to see if they have the blackjack, they offer insurance. Essentially what they're saying is, if I have a face card here, you all lost. So I'm willing to make sort of a bet, essentially a side bet, so that if you do have a blackjack under there, I'm not going to lose all my money. The player puts money on the table as an insurance bet. Players can bet up to half of their current bet on insurance. If the dealer has blackjack, then the insurance will pay back 2 to 1. The downside is, of course, you pay the insurance and then they don't have the ace, and so it didn't matter. So now let's talk about the basic strategy of betting. If you go to Amazon, you can get one of these cards right here. And it basically shows you on the left side, here's what your hand is. Do you have a 17, a 16, or maybe specialty hands, a 7, 7, 8, 8, 8, ace something. And then it shows you what the dealer's up card is, what the dealer's showing card is. And then if you look into the grid, it'll be either hit, H or S for stand, the red D's for double downs, or the S blue ones for split. Essentially, what this card is it's every combination of what you should do based on what the dealer has. And if you don't want to think about it, you just keep this card and do what it says. And I am 1,000% sure that that dealer knows this by heart. It doesn't mean that you have to do it. The dealer will still ask, you want to hit or do you want to stand? But trust me, in the back of the dealer's head, the dealer knows what you should do because the dealer knows this by heart and knows that this is the best thing to do as the gambler. So let's go ahead and try some hands. Here's my money down here. The dealer's up there. I'm just going to start betting $25. Here we go. The dealer is showing a king. You see they quickly check to see if they have an 8 underneath. I have a 5. I have a 2. If we want to look at our cheat sheet, it says 5 to 8. It doesn't matter what the dealer has. It says I should take a hit. So I've got a 7. I'm going to take a hit. Now I've got a 10. So that's 17. And if you want, we can go to our cheat sheet here. Now that we have 17, it doesn't matter what the dealer has. We should always stay at 17. The dealer gets 12. They're forced to take a hit. Unfortunately, they got 21. I lost, and they got 21. Let's try it again. We'll play a handful of hands here. So we've got, again, the dealer got a 10 and a down card. He checked to make sure it wasn't an ace. That got a 6, and I got an ace that could be a 7 or it could be a 17. I personally think in this particular case, when you have an ace and a 6, and you'll see because it's considered soft, ace 6, here you go, and the dealer is showing a 10, it says to take a hit. So we're going to take a hit. Now we've got 14, and if you look here, when you have 14, and the dealer is showing a 10, you also take a hit. So let's take another hit. And we busted with 24. The dealer had 20, so we wouldn't have won anyways. One more. We're $50 down. Let's try it again. Okay, the dealer's showing a 2. I've got 13, and if you come here, you'll see 13. The dealer's showing a 2. It says S for stand. Now, again, you can break the rules. This is where I could say, hey, I want to take a hit anyways. But if you want to just go with what minimizes the risk, that cheat sheet does that. So we're going to stand. The dealer has an 11, and the dealer gets 21 and wins. What's ironic is, though, that would have come to us. We would have 13. We would have busted. We were going to lose either way again. One more time. Well, I have an ace, which means I either have a 10 or I have a 20. They're actually showing me as a 20. Because 20 is actually a good game to get. You definitely, if you have 20, always want to stay. Notice they checked the dealer checked to see if they had a blackjack. They did not. We stay. They had 20. It's a push, meaning no money is exchanged either way. Let's just try one or two more of these. The dealer almost had a blackjack because it's an ace high, but it didn't. So I have an 11. And in this particular case, let's go to what it says. When I have an 11, and the dealer is showing an ace, it's saying don't double down. Otherwise, it wants you to double down unless the dealer is showing an ace, in which case they suggest you take a hit. So I'll take the hit. I've got 21. The dealer, oh my gosh, also gets 21, and we push. Is this rigged? Last hand. The dealer's showing a queen. I have a 9. If we look at our cards, we have to take a hit if we have a 9. So we hit. Now we have 15. You back to your card. We have 15. The dealer's showing a 9. It says we should take a hit. We take a hit. 17. Now we'll stay. The dealer's 18. They have to stay. We still lost. That's the thing. even with that card, which is minimizing the advantage, sometimes you're just losing. I personally believe that blackjack is done on streaks. So even though we lost a bunch, I have a video on how to never lose money at blackjack. It's a gambling betting system of how you bet that allows you to never lose your money. The video is right here. You can take a look at it, and I hope you'll check out how to play craps and pai gow and baccarat and roulette and all my other casino games, as well as all my other thousands of videos on this channel. Thanks.